Not so.
Yeah, a little too early. All right, so we spent some time talking about Cates. Cam York, you guys heard my thoughts a little bit there. You okay with 2 years on York? You want to see more from him, or you think maybe they should have extended him more? Do you guys agree with my opinion on Cam York? So I'm just going to lay it out. And the guy, people in the comments, if you want to tell me I'm wrong, yada, yada, please feel free. I don't have the confidence and faith that a lot of people have in Cam York, mainly because he has a tough time getting the puck to goal, right? And there's another flyer on the team that they don't put on the power play specifically, in my opinion, for that reason, and that's Travis Sanheim. So automatically, you have this offensive defenseman in Cam York who, I mean, there's offense right in the position name, can't get pucks to goal from the point. His shot is not a strong shot. So, okay, so how is he going to create offense, right? And the first thing I think of, and maybe it's just me, I think of Sanheim. Well, how does Sanheim create offense? Mainly on the rush. Doesn't do anything to, overly wow you. I mean, he might have a nice play or two, and it might be unfair, but Cam York just hasn't done it for me yet. And maybe the last 2 months of just being no hockey, maybe I have a short memory. But I think it's good that they only bridged Cam York. I didn't want to see a 4 or 5 year deal for York. How do you guys feel about that? Jack, you have anything there? You feel the same?
I mean, a bridge only made sense for him to me. You haven't seen enough. I'm surprised that I'm higher on him than you are. I think most people who know anything about me just assume I don't like York because of the Caulfield thing, but that's not the case. I don't care who you win. Teams. There was another player that was known for doing something and having a hard time doing it. And then he got traded to the Flyers and started doing it. And that's Owen Tippett. So I'm not closing that door yet. If York can just figure it out, he could really open something up. So, I mean, he is the perfect to bridge and hope that his game starts to develop. There was a lot of change at the start of this season as well. It was a weird season for sure. They were supposed to be in transition. We kind of had to wait a couple of months for that to happen. So I think with more structure and more it's on the young guys now, maybe he'll play his game and maybe he'll show that he's that offensive guy that we're expecting, because he's definitely not a shutdown D guy. Mm-hmm. Maybe he'll show something that Travis sees where he's like, this is why I think he play on the top pair. I'm not that crazy about him yet, but don't get me wrong, I won't be mad. I'm also a sample size guy. A lot of people see like 30 games of a guy and lose their mind. They're like, I'm sold, sign him 8 years. I'm the exact opposite. I need as much time as possible. I've seen us and other teams get burned too many times. So I'm willing to wait. Bridge him. All you got to do, bridge him, see what you got. I didn't expect him to get much more, to be honest. This kind of made sense for me. That's where I sit with him. He probably wants to show more too. He knows first round pick, and his if you read his scouting report, he has not shown what he's capable of. I mean, I know he's still young, but he's probably knows he's got more in the tank that he's got to show. And I'm kind of excited to see it happen and see, I would love it, see what happens and go from there.
Trav, what do you think? Same thing?
No, I agree with some things Jack said. I disagree with you on what you see out of him. I haven't noticed the not being able to get pucks to the net. Maybe I'm blind. I haven't noticed that.
Well, I bet you will this year when they put him on the power play.
Okay, I'll be looking for it now.
So in our chat, Shadow 3X says, York does nothing that impresses me. And I've seen a lot of that. For a while, I was kind of on that train. But, Jim, you and I talked about the old shimmy shake at the blue line.
Oh, yeah.
And led directly to a goal. That was pretty nice. If he starts doing that stuff, has the confidence to do that stuff more often, I don't care if it's on the power play or not, just play your game like that, we might be having a full 180 on this, or Jim might be having a full 180 on this guy. And it happens. It happens to all of us. You see something you don't like, you pick up on tendencies, and then all it takes is a couple of really pretty plays, and it reminds you why this guy was a first-round pick and what he's capable of, and then you start becoming a believer, and then, boom, there you go.
So that's a good point because Travis Sanheim doesn't have that sort of elusiveness where you pressure him with the puck and he's trapped at the blue line. You're going the other way. It's fast break because he panics. But the point you just brought up, if he can, if he's pressured with the puck, if he can still create and get his, find his way out of that, okay, now we're looking at so this is now a different sort of offense, right? It's like, okay, if you can't get shots to goal, because if you don't have a shot, teams they're going to pressure you, turn it over, or, they're just going to see what you do. Because if you're not getting a puck to the net, it's like, all right, well, where's he going with this? Because he's not shooting, kind of thing. We'll see. And maybe I am getting a little bit too down on Cam York because of Travis Sanheim. Like, I'm over Sanheim. And when I see a guy, offensive defenseman, has trouble getting pucks to goal, that bothers the hell out of me, I think. So yeah, maybe it's just a me thing. Interesting question here. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Trav.
No, I was just going to add, you are right about this team. We have grown the last 10 years where you do pressure this team in any way and they just fall to pieces. Mm-hmm. And Sanheim was definitely a part of that. So it's only natural to think that all the defensemen that come through here are going to be like that. So I want to see him get pressured and see how he handles it. I want him to see him get cute and succeed with the puck in small spaces. I want to see him be able to rip a pass and carry the puck out of the zone just for starters. Just for starters, just be responsible with the puck, be smart with the puck. Show why an offensive defenseman is not just blasting on the net. Like you're skilled with the puck. Like I want to see that. Like you see, or more of that, more consistently, and just having the confidence to just do it, just go for it. Hopefully the instincts do it right. So I mean, there's a lot to see on him still. I think that's why Bridge was perfect. Money's probably lower than some people expected, or right on, whatever. It's a Bridge deal, and he's however old. So like he's got a lot left to prove. I think that's why they did it.
That's kind of what I wanted to get into. Like his shiftiness is like beautiful. I think like his deception and his elusiveness is game changing. His natural playmaking ability is far better than Sanheim's. You guys just said like snapping passes tape to tape. I think he's very good at that. He I don't know how many games he's played. He's a pretty solid defensive player with his stick, especially for his size. I think he's done pretty well in his own zone with such little experience and the size. That impresses me. I don't know. We had the comment, what's his ceiling? That's a good question. I think he has top pair ceiling. I don't know if he's going to be a number one or a number two. I think he will eventually be a number two. Can he be a number one? I'm not sure about that. But yeah, everything I've seen out of this guy, I really like. He's not bad in his own zone for being a smaller offensive defenseman with such little experience, and the passing ability, the shiftiness. I think he's a really good player right now, and I think he's going to continue.
I think that Dan Boyle comparison we spoke about offline would be fantastic. That would be a very good ceiling, absolute ceiling for him. I mean, I see him more as like Jim said, a 3, but with like really counting on him with the offense, like power play quarterback or go-to guy, which is very valuable, especially if you know anything about your own end, unlike certain players. If you can at least be somewhat adequate, you have a really good player on your hands, especially if they're that creative offensively, and not just creative, just can rip it, can, find lanes, passing lanes and shooting lanes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So real quick, Cam York has played in a total of 87 NHL games, not counting the 3 that he played in 2021. He has 5 goals, 25 assists for 30 points in 84 games. So just over an 82-game season. He's got 30 points, 5 goals. Yeah, if he turns out to be a 30 to 40-point guy, 35, 40-point guy, I'm totally fine with that because that's what I see him as.
I wouldn't be okay with that. I think he has way higher point potential.
Okay. All right. Maybe it's just a me thing.
He's got all his 20s to, improve. So maybe he'll hit that point in like round 26 or something. We keep going up. Who knows?
One other
Defensemen
thing.
always grow slower, no matter who. It's always a slower grow.
I was impressed with all the different roles he played this year and all the different defensemen he played with. We saw him on the top pair with Provorov at times. We saw him with Risto at times. We saw him with Braun, Sealer. I like this game from the day he got called up until the end of the season.
You're on mute,
Sorry,
Jimmy. Go
left
ahead.
myself on mute.
And I actually think he outplayed Provorov this year.
All right. One thing I do want to add on York
that.
is that he's very confident.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
extremely confident.
That's good.
Some players, I'll say, confident in a good way. York is, I think, borderline cocky. Right? Would you say that that's true?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I personally like that.
Yeah. So we'll see.
You know, it up, hell.
Yep.
We'll see. So what I'm almost worried about with that is, and I don't want to open up a can of worms here.
Oh, it's already open now.
Young, cocky kid, 22 years old. It almost seems like a Tortorella target right there, where he's got to break that a little bit out of him, break the ego part.
Beginning of the season last year.
You're right. He did.
Water under the bridge.
I hope, because I'm going to be interested to see how that plays out now. Full season New York. He's going to have to hit the ground running out of the gate, or else it could be, I don't see Cam York with the Flyers long term, if you want me to be honest.
Wow.
I just don't see him here. I think he's a West Coast kid, not going to get along with Tortorella. He's only signing a bridge deal. I don't see him with the Flyers long term. Just my opinion. A little maybe of a bomb take, but we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. We'll see.
You kind of mentioned that, and the first guy who comes to my mind, young, cocky kid with Tortorella, was Michael Del Zotto. And he had a really good start to the beginning of his career in New York, and it did not turn out very well. And he ended up coming to Philly and had I think his first or second year here was pretty strong. But yeah, after that, I mean, he was just kind of up and down the rest of his career, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it turns better than he did, Michael
That's
Del
for
Zotto.
sure. He was a first-round pick too. Yeah, 20th overall. Yep. I thought he was going to be